Welcome back to the final leg of our journey in Sapa, a remote corner of the Hoang Lien Son mountain range in northwest Vietnam that's currently in the midst of a tourism and infrastructure boom. And though the new wave of deluxe hotels and tourism facilities are making Sapa more attractive, it's the colorful indigenous culture of its hill tribes that's still the most compelling reason to visit. You'll find many hill tribe people in the town center of Sapa, but if you want to get a more authentic slice of their life, you gotta visit them in their villages. This is Kat Kat, the home of the Black Hmong. Kat Kat is the most popular of Sapa's hill tribe villages, partly because it's just a short hike from the town center, but also because it's the most organized in managing the influx of tourists. All right, this is the start of the tour inside Kat Kat village. It's quite unusual because you actually have to buy a ticket to get in. There's an entrance fee, but of course it's justified because they say that the money goes back to the village. It helps preserve their heritage. Why not? Despite the entrance fee, Kat Kat isn't anything like the ethnic theme park I suspected it would be. Here you'll still find many of the Black Hmong in their customary dress and living in indigenous Hmong houses. While out in the fields, you'll see rice and vegetable farmers working the land on Kat Kat's world-famous terraces. And, no cement monstrosities and high-rise buildings blocking the terrific mountain views. Well, just yet. And I'm surprised to find no cars or motorbikes on the village streets. Still, it's hard not to notice how mass tourism and rising incomes are quickly changing the traditional way of life here. It's an increasingly common sight and an increasingly common sound. Construction. You hear it and you see it everywhere in Sapa, even in the smaller villages of the town, like Kat Kat. There's just so much more money, so much more development, and so much more tourists, not just in Sapa, but in the entire Vietnam. Perhaps it's only a matter of time until traditional village life is altered irreversibly. Although the Black Hmong, I'm told, are hanging on as hard as they can to their ancestral heritage. Which is why you need to capture these moments before they disappear forever. It's wonderful. Everywhere you look, there's a photo opportunity. I guess you'll be fine with a camera phone here, but I don't know. For me, I'd rather bring a professional camera that could capture life in its full color and intensity. Because I knew this would be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, I made sure to borrow one of the best cameras to take on this photographic journey. The new Leica Q2 fixed-lens full-frame camera is the ideal tool in a situation like this. First thing I like about this camera is, of course, the form factor. It's shaped like a rangefinder, which means that it doesn't look like those professional DSLRs with those long, heavy zoom lenses. Those zoom lenses are so heavy, it's hard to lug around. Second is, they're so huge, they scare off the locals. Which makes it ideal for unobtrusive street-style photography like this. Because of its shape and size, villagers don't seem to notice or mind having their photos taken. And because it's quite light, I can carry it throughout the countryside. The 47 megapixel sensor, double that in most professional cameras, gives me astounding resolution, perfect for landscape photography and for capturing the most intricate details. Yes, even after cropping aggressively. The dynamic range is equally amazing. There's so much detail, even in the shadows, and with hardly any noise, even if these scenes were taken against the light source. This is an extremely capable lens. It's a fixed 28mm lens. It's got a really fast aperture at 1.7, which really brings in so much light to the sensor. It's full frame, by the way, which means you get this lovely bokeh or blurry background.
Leica's fast fixed lens is a beauty. Well, all Leica lenses are. The 28mm focal length is ideal for travel, wide enough for shooting scenery, and great for close-up photography, with bokeh that's creamy, and shots without any visible distortion. In Cut, brilliant colors are everywhere, and the Q2 does a fantastic job reproducing all the shades and hues.
This village is particularly popular for their indigo dye, these fabrics with indigo dye. You'll see it all over the place, so beautiful.
It would be a pity indeed not to capture the Black Hmong's skillful use of color in their traditional weaving and fabric dyeing industry. I'm stopping by the home of the village's oldest weaving family. Because of new and cheaper weaving technologies and better employment opportunities, few, like Tong, weave or dye cloth the traditional handcrafted way anymore.
Tung was the leader of the village, and so she wants to pass on these traditions to the next generation and to the next generation, because a lot of the young Vietnamese now, they just want to go out of the village, right? They want to take on modern jobs, but she wants to make sure that her children continue to learn the traditional weaving heritage. Amazing. So thank you so much, Tung. Thank you.
If you want to encourage weavers to persevere with their craft, you need to support them with your cash. So I'm buying this beautiful hand-dyed scarf from Tong. Her fabrics aren't cheap, but I want to show her that, oddly enough, tourism can also help preserve her legacy.
I guess after buying this scarf, she's sort of warmed up to me and she's allowed me inside her house. So this is what it looks like, a traditional Black Hmong house. Of course, there's a price you pay for keeping to your old traditions. You don't make that much money compared to the other families that have moved out and taken on jobs in the big city. But then again, that's a sacrifice you make to preserve the heritage.
Hopefully more visitors support Kat's weavers instead of buying cheap souvenirs made across the border. But tourism is a double-edged sword. Though it brings prosperity to many locals, too many visitors, when not managed properly, could ruin the traditional village experience and the natural environment entirely, creating a boomerang effect, ironically. However, not all villages around Sapa are as developed as Kat, and if you're looking for something more authentic, the remote village of Tavan, amidst glorious views of rice terraces, is a current backpacker favorite. The village, inhabited by the ethnic Dao and Giay minorities, is about a 4-hour hike from Kat, through scenic forest trails and verdant rice paddies. And soon, just about 20 minutes from Sapa, once the road connecting the town to Tavan is finished. It will take many months more, maybe years, before the big tourist buses arrive. So I'm going to enjoy the peaceful pace and unaffected vibe of simple village life while I'm here. There are only about 110 families living in Tavan, mostly farmers who eke out a living selling rice and vegetables, and offering rooms and meals on the side to visitors.
This is a Sapa I've always imagined, quiet, peaceful, and relatively underdeveloped. For those who think that the town proper of Sapa is just a bit too noisy, a bit too chaotic, and I sometimes feel that way, this is a great alternative. In fact, you can stay in any one of the many beautiful homestays over here.
There are no hotels in Tavan, strictly speaking at least. Only homestays, as they call it. Simple, rustic, and unpretentious inns, though some of the better ones like the 4-room La Dao Spa and Coffee House offer upscale amenities. Well, for Tavan standards at least.
You could do a day trip to Tavan, as most people do, or you can stay overnight, which is what I hope to do. Maybe someday, if not tonight. You can choose any one of the homestays here. These are like institutions in Tavan where you share the house with a local family. They cook for you, they provide for you, they give you a space in their home. Some are more luxurious than others, such as this one. It even has a restaurant. But this is a homestay.
I'm just in time to catch sunset over the terraces at the restaurant's open deck, the golden hour in Tavan, where the cornfields and rice paddies of the valley are at their most picturesque. Tavan is one of the few places in Vietnam where it snows during winter, so make sure to visit on any other season if you plan to enjoy views and weather and outdoor meals just like this.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What a way to enjoy dinner. Just look at this view in front of me. The terraces of Tavan.
Meals in Tavan, even for a deluxe homestay like La Dao Spa, are simple, local, and mostly organic. Fresh produce sourced from the farms around the village.
You don't have to do anything with the food. You don't have to even fry it. All you have to do is just boil or steam it. And you can enjoy all the flavors.
Brownouts and power failures are still common in rural Tavan. But it's a small sacrifice for the quality of life a visitor can experience in this distant corner of Vietnam.
I think I can live in this place.
Luxury travel, after all, isn't just about staying at the most beautiful hotels and dining at the fanciest restaurants, or adding yet another destination on that never-ending bucket list. Rather, it's about experiencing life lived in its most natural state, communing with nature, and connecting with kindred spirits who enrich us more than we can ever give in return. This is a Sapa I discovered despite being 2 decades late.
And that's all for this episode of Executive Class. I'm David Celdran in Sapa, northwestern Vietnam. Thanks for watching.